Hello everyone, Andre Leroux here, and we are reviewing logos. The first one today is a tent and letter A. It's interesting, but two things I think you can improve here. The first is that this corner isn't sharp enough. What you have is more or less this. What I think you need is more or less this. If you rotate the whole thing towards you a bit, then you have a more defined corner there. And it's easier to see what it is. And you still have your triangle intact, so you can still make your letter A. The other thing is the flaps. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but you have a corner here, and that's not how it would look. That should be rounded, with one line flowing into the other one, like that. I know you did this to construct a letter A, but I think you can still have a letter A and a flap that works like a flap. Next up, piano stairs. Very interesting idea. We have some piano stairs logos on LogoGround, but I think yours is unique enough to work. The bit that does not work is the black keys here. I think those are black keys. That part is confusing to me. Perhaps better if you just draw those keys in so that it looks like a piano. And maybe you don't need this black line here. It messes up the composition a bit. Next logo, well, you know it. We are going to talk about stars now. Nothing against stars, but it feels like we see them in every second logo. It's like if you upload the logo as is, it might get declined. But if you upload it and say the magic words, Alakazam stars, then LogoGround has to approve it. Nope, stars are not magic. They don't automatically improve your logo. They might improve your logo, but only if they fit the design and serve a purpose. Also, the eye looks unfinished. It's just a football, not an eye, not yet. And then the interaction between the shield and the eagle. Look at these eagle shield examples. In each one of them, it looks like that eagle and that shield were made for each other, like two pieces of a puzzle. Perfect fit. Not only because the shapes fit neatly, but also because the style is consistent. By comparison, yours feels like it could have been any shield, slotted in behind the eagle. There's no connection between your eagle and your shield. Next, a woman logo. When doing a logo like this, where beauty is the theme, you have a unique challenge. That face has to be pretty. Not your idea of pretty, but if you want to sell it, then it has to be the world's idea of pretty. I know, that sounds terribly superficial, and it is, but it's business. If you want to draw a pretty face, find good examples and study them. Look at the proportions, the size of the eyes, the placement and shape of the eyebrows, the shape of the nose, the thickness of the lips, etc. There's a whole checklist involved in drawing a pretty face. And you have to work on the hair some more. It looks like the hairs start from somewhere over here, but the top of the head is more or less here. Those 2 points don't have to be right on top of one another, but they should be close together. The spacing also needs work. You have fairly consistent spacing, and then this one line has a mind of its own. Next up, King Croc. Not bad, but you need to pick a style and use it consistently in the logo. You have highlights on the crown and feet, but then on the croc you have no highlights and you have a very bold outline. Either of these can work, they are fine, but only one style per logo. And these scales are not great. It's like you started to draw scales and then went to get coffee, and when you came back you forgot to finish the scales and uploaded the logo. It looks half-hearted. Next, a fun logo, sun, cloud and bread combination. This just needs more attention to detail. This kind of thing makes it impossible for us to approve the logo. And the same thing with the corners of these lines. Some are round, some are partially round, and some are just flat. And the spacing too. There's no reason for these lines to be unevenly distributed. Next, a letter K heart logo. This unfortunately cannot work, mainly because it's been done. I think yours is too similar, not trademarkable. If you create fairly simple letter-based logos, there's always a good chance that it's been done before. Whatever you do to that letter, it's probably been done to that poor letter before. Don't use only Yandex to check your ideas. Google Lens does a good job too, and you should make a habit of doing just a normal Google search. Like in this case, simply searching for letter K heart logo is all it takes. Also, this isn't an attractive heart. If we rotate it so that the heart is the right way up, then it's not much fun to look at. In a design like this, it can be easier to make a perfect heart first, then find a way to integrate it into your letter. Next up, a skull Equalizer logo. Lovely. I really like this. The eyes are like dials on a turntable. Very clever. And this is almost a play button. The only problem here is that these details are too small. When the logo is used at a small scale, like on a website or a phone app, those details will melt away. Sometimes it's okay to lose some details, but you can't afford to lose these details. They are the main thing that distinguishes this skull from other skulls. So those details need to be there at any size. They are central to the logo. I'm happy to report that a second version without the small details has been approved on LogoGround in the meantime. Next, it's a skull and an octopus and a globe. It's not terrible, the idea can work, kind of like the Kraken or some sea monster, but the drawing work is not up to par. These are just ellipses with linear gradient fills, not integrated. They look like they sit on top of the octopus. They don't become part of some skin texture. Much better to do this in one color, or maybe 2 or 3 flat colors. And the lines on the globe are wrong. If we just grab the outline and one contour line, then they make a corner here. But there should be no corner there. The contour line on a sphere will flow smoothly into the outline. Next up, a competent but confusing logo. I can't figure out what I'm looking at, and I've been looking at this design for a while. The best I can come up with is that the rabbit is lying on top of the turtle like it wants to stop it from moving. Either that or, well, let's keep it family friendly. It can look like they don't want to be disturbed. And I think your typography isn't great. Fairly common typefaces that don't go well together and don't really fit the logo. It's a fun logo, I think. So a more playful typeface would be a better match. And that's all 10 logos for today. More logos next time. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, and thanks for watching.